All right, what is going on, Ranger fans? Welcome to another edition of 407 Rangers. It is your host, Raymond Tapia. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and a comment. Turn on your notifications when I'm about to go live, upload a post, do a stream, or post highlights. You guys already know the procedure. Well, guys, we're almost at 200 subscribers. We're at 173, so just let's try to get to that 180 so it can be real close to that 200 mark. We would love to see that, but unfortunately, the Rangers once again did not get a home victory. However, they had their chances, but Detroit just pretty much outplayed them from every aspect. Kept the puck in the blue zone much more, and they just gave the Rangers a real hard time at bringing the puck down to their offensive zone. Not only that, like they had a tough time in the neutral zone defending that as well because the Red Wings had plenty of opportunities. Thankfully, Jonathan Quick was doing his best even though he allowed 4 goals. He still did his part. Unfortunately, like I said, the Red Wings just had the better opportunities on the power plays, and that's pretty much how the Red Wings ended up winning the game. But the refs, once again, were just acting very weird with the Rangers, missing calls and barely giving them any. But thankfully, they got a power play goal out of it thanks to Mika Zibanejad. And the New York Rangers had their chances as well, but freaking man, the goaltending for the Red Wings was just absolutely on one tonight, man. Cam Talbot was definitely like just making sure that no puck was going in the net. So I gotta give credit for that because we already knew the Red Wings were gonna be out for blood ever since the freaking loss at Detroit and Panarin pretty much dropping like 4 points. So we kind of figured after the loss from the Sabres yesterday in OT, they were just thinking to themselves, we're not losing this next game. And with the record the New York Rangers have right now, they are 1-7-1 officially at the Madison Square Garden. Which, interesting, the road record, like I said, is the only thing that keeps this team alive. We would love to see them win another home game, but we know it's going to be a tough one for them to do that. That's why I said, even though I know they've been winning 3 games in a row, this one's going to probably be a tough one for them to do. Now, they did have opportunities on the net. They started shooting the puck. It started off slow. But then at some point, they started finally outshooting the Red Wings, which to me, it felt just like another Blue Jackets game from last night. It was just the Red Wings was pretty much at the Garden. They both had their Centennial jerseys, which I don't know, man. I'm starting to think the Centennial jersey is just it just gives the Rangers the weirdest luck every time they put those on in the Garden. I like the jerseys; they look cool. But at this point, I'm starting to call it like the Centennial Jersey curse because every time they put that specific jersey on, they like don't win a game. When they beat the Predators, they had their normal home jerseys on. So I don't know. Every Centennial Jersey night they have on, like they just never win the game. It's weird. But Rangers were drawing the penalties in the first period. Well, yeah, and then freaking Noah Laba, he had a hooking penalty, which I don't know. That one was kind of weird because I felt like Noah Laba should have never gotten that call. It felt like the stick was like pretty much on him. No, I believe it was Sam Carrick. Sam Carrick was the one that was dealing with that, but they gave him the penalty call, which was weird. But then Noah Laba draws another hooking penalty, which I pretty much the drawing the penalty from the Rangers is what costed them the game tonight too. And then at 9:30 in the second period, Alex DeBrincat of course hits the power play goal with the wrist shot. Lucas Raymond and Patrick Kane was on the assist as well. And from the second period, the Rangers they just had a little tough time, but luckily Moritz Seider did a delay of game, and that created a penalty for the Rangers. And after that, at 11:59 on the power play, Mika Zibanejad hits a power play goal with the wrist shot. Will Cooley and Artemi Panarin with the assist on that play as well. I mean, like I said, man, Mika Zibanejad, he's been on fire, man. He's just been scoring a goal, getting an assist, just always having a point per game. So I am not mad at it at all. But then, of course, Sam Carrick. This was the part right here at 12:54. This was a very questionable call because I truly think the stick was nowhere near JT Copper. If anything, it looked like the stick that JT Copper had, it was like right around Carrick's hip, and they somehow missed that call. So that was very odd, man. And of course, the Red Wings, they were in the power play. But then luckily the Rangers killed off the penalty, which the penalty kill wasn't too bad for them tonight. They just unfortunately let in 2 power play goals, and that's the only reason why the Red Wings even got the victory. But then at the third period, this was when we had some kind of hope, but unfortunately I feel like this was the dagger for us because man, the Red Wings, like I said, they were just making it real tough on us, man. They weren't giving the Rangers any opportunities to shoot the puck, and if they did, the shots was always blocked. So the forechecking was not too bad though. So that I'm not gonna discredit the Rangers on because the forechecking, like I said, they did really good on that part. Like I said, unfortunately, every time they got to the blue zone and they shot the puck, it was just never at the right angle, and they never cleared enough space to get that freaking shot into the net. But then once again, Noah Laba draws a second penalty before the 6:39 at the third period. Will Cooley hits a tripping penalty on Simon Edmondson. So once again, the Red Wings are on the power play. And then in the middle of the power play, Noah Laba hits a slashing against Emmett Finney. And from there, the Red Wings are in a 5-on-3 situation. And you already kind of knew where this was going because it was just a matter of time before the Red Wings got their goal. And at 16:13, after freaking Will Cooley got himself out of the box, Lucas Raymond hits the power play goal with the wrist shot. Dylan Larkin and Morris Seider was in the assist on that play as well. And from there, you just knew it was about to be a tough time for the Rangers because now they're going to have to get one more goal to go into the overtime. Even though they pulled it off in the Columbus Blue Jackets on the road, there was a little bit of faith that they could do it again. But like I said, the Red Wings, they did just not make it easy for this team at all. And of course, at the 20-minute mark, Jonathan Quick gets an unsportsmanlike conduct call against Mason Appleton. And Mason Appleton was with the misconduct as well. So I guess the Rangers had an opportunity on the power play, but nothing happened. And they go for the empty attacker for the freaking game tying goal. And unfortunately, it just didn't pay off. Red Wings was just clearing the puck out really well every time they created an opportunity to shoot the puck, and they would turn it over. And once again, the Rangers just lose at home. And I don't know, man. Like I said, the luck that this team has is the weirdest luck this season. They win 2 games on the road, they win one finally at home, and then they're right back to like, oh, here we are. We're right back to the home slump where we can barely win anything here. And I don't know when it's going to turn around. I mean, I'm not going to say that they didn't want to turn it around. Obviously, they did their best. Unfortunately, the Red Wings just beat us by 1 goal. That one particular goal is what changed the game for us. Jonathan Quick, he didn't do too bad, so I'm not going to sit here and knock him or any of that and be like, oh, Igor Shesterkin should have started over Jonathan Quick. I mean, Igor played way too many games. He played like 4 games straight. So Jonathan Quick was definitely not bad of the start because he got his win last game against the Red Wings. So it would have made sense to put him on the net. And of course he had a 952 percentage, 40 saves. So Jonathan Quick is not at fault for this game tonight on this loss. And then you had Cam Talbot. He had a 947 percentage and 18 saves. So, yeah, the Red Wings, they came to play tonight, unfortunately. But hopefully this will be the wake up call for them to try to keep winning home games, because I wouldn't blame any Ranger fan that feels like they don't have faith in this team winning at home once again. But you never know. Probably after this 3-game road trip they got this week, they could probably bounce back and get another home victory. Because on the next game they play Tuesday against the Vegas Golden Knights, and then they got to face the Avalanche, and then they got to face the Mammoth. And the Vegas Golden Knights, they probably have more of a chance to beat them because they swept them last year. But the Avalanche, I don't know, man. That's going to be a tough one because the Avalanche are for real this year. They look like they are just very mad about them not having a chance to win the cup. So, for all we know, they've been a wagon. They might be on the watch for the playoff run because they could probably pull it off and do the unthinkable this year and come out the West, especially with the slow start Edmonton's having. I don't know if they'll be able to, like, do what they did the past 2 seasons where they start slow and then they turn it around in the second half and they're right back in the playoffs. They can still do it, but I feel like it's going to still be a tougher chance now that Colorado and Dallas is giving them a tough time to do that. But I'm going to leave you guys with my final thought here because I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. So for the Rangers, you guys already know, man, it was another day at home. And, it's a dice roll for them to either get the win or the loss. I wish they had got the 4-game winning streak. It would have been awesome. I'm not too mad at the loss because at least they got 3 games in a row before they got back in the Garden. It's just unfortunate that the puck luck and the curse at the Garden still continues. Now, there's no telling when they're going to ever break out of this curse. I don't know. It's going to be tough to tell because after this 3-game road trip, I believe they play right after the Mammoth. Oh no, where's my freaking at the Mammoth Monday? Yeah, Monday they played a home game at the Blues, and the Blues are not a good team this year, so they have all the reasons to try to get the win. But of course, I wouldn't blame you one bit to have your doubts as well because you guys know like the Rangers they just can't win at home. And thankfully, they at least broke the drought. But I don't know if they're going to keep giving us home wins after that drought-winning ending game. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated on Tuesday. As always, let's go Rangers. Thank y'all for watching. Just hit that subscribe button, and y'all have a wonderful night.